Good morning. It's a Saturday. Thank you, Jesus, for the day. Let's get into the video. Almost all of our face frames for this Alabaster kitchen remodel are completed. That's how they came out right there. Made out of 3/4 inch beech wood. Super tight grain, so it comes out great for paint. Those three, though, need 2 more coats on the front. And then we have the skin side panels, 1/4 inch MDF, to cover up all the Craig jig holes. Those need a bunch of coats of the Alabaster, and then, but those are cut out 2 size. And then we have our dovetail drawer boxes here. They need clear coated, so those will get clear coated, those will get sprayed, and those will get finished on Monday. My plan here for today and tomorrow, here's my big old list here. I'm going to attempt to get all of the cabinets put together, all of the shelves all put together. Ooh, another thing we also did, we have the shelving cut out and ready. It does need double checked once all of the cabinets are put together, but it is cut out there. 3/4 of an inch thick, tremendously thick. So we have to put all these together, and then I would like to get the face frames on that are sitting right there, Alabaster. And then on the upper cabinets, I'd like to get the bottom 1/4 inch skins put on to cover up all of the Craig jig pocket holes. So I'm going to start here and just see how far we get. Starting to build our 1/2 inch cabinet shelves for this Alabaster kitchen remodel. If I can get the glue out, I think it'll come out here. I lost the cap for this glue bottle, so you know what that means. It gets gummed up, which is never great, but that's okay. I will make it work. That's just what I do. Okay. I think we're almost there. Sort of. I do have another glue bottle that actually has a cap, but I would say at this point, it's personal now. So we're going to get it to work. Okay, let's see. I think it's better. All of our cabinets, whether they're 3/4 or 1/2 inch, are dadoed, as you can tell. We add glue, and then we add 1.25 inch. They are drywall screws. And I do get some hate in the comments for that, but I've seen a lot of cabinet makers that I've seen online that are custom cabinet makers, and they actually do the same thing. And that's where I got the idea from. We used to countersink and use like different cabinet screws for these cabinets, but I didn't like the countersink for a few reasons. One, kind of looked bad on the exterior, which you never see, quite honestly, but it just bothered me. And another reason is it just took a lot longer. Where on these, we're able to screw in, the head sinks in just a hair, about a 30-second, so that way it doesn't pop out our applied side panel, and it locks it in. And you get the full 1/2 inch of material into the screw that can draw it into the other piece. So I like it. I like this a lot. It's a lot quicker and it's a lot cleaner. And I think it's sturdier. That's why we're doing it this way now. We had to countersink before because based on the other screws we were using, we used a few different types, played around with it, but they never like to sink in. So even when they had the head like this, that's meant to kind of sink in, they didn't. So we'd have to countersink. And it took a lot longer, was less clean, and wasn't as strong. So now we do it this way. Been doing it this way for a while now. You can look back in our previous videos, but been doing it for a long time, and I think it turns out way better. So we're gonna keep doing it. I know where to screw because CNC makes these little indentions that line up perfectly with the dado. centers it, and it goes right into the back piece. So that's why I know where to go. Normally, it'll actually create like a little hole exactly where I need to go, so I'm not having to fumble around with it as much as I'm having to right now. Just an ultra pain in the butt sometimes. But there's a few factors that can lead to the hole, and we're talking like not even a 64th of an inch off, less than that. It can, some of the problems could be, the plywood could be, you know, 128th of an inch thicker or thinner. The Auto Z could be off 128th, right? I mean, like, so that could lead to just the dimples not exactly being, I mean, you can definitely feel them, but sometimes you just, it's harder to see. So it affects the functionality of the cabinet zero. It really just affects us when we're trying to put them together. But it's just one of the things we deal with once, and it doesn't happen all the time. And that's again where the plywood can be a 128th of an inch thicker than other times. So we use really good plywood, American made. But you know, sometimes that's just what you get. It's material at the end of the day. And so you overcome it, and you adapt to it, and you just get it done. This will be our bottom or our top piece, depending. This is actually not depending. This is definitely our top piece because it's only a 1/2 inch cut out at the top. We do that so that way we don't want it perfectly flush up top there, in case we need to scribe it for some reason to the ceiling. A lot of our cabinets go to the ceiling. That's how our clients want them. So if I need to scribe something, I want the ability to. This are actually pretty much of a pain in the butt today here for some reason, but that's fine. Yeah, and that's why we also leave 1/4 inch scribe on our face frame, 1/4 inch scribe on the back here. So if I need to scribe it to the wall, I can, to make sure it's perfect. These definitely don't take this long typically, and for whatever reason they are today. So. Okay, so that one didn't sink all the way, and I don't like it at all. See if I can't. There we go. Okay, much better. So I'm gonna get that bottom piece on there, and then I'll set this guy to the side. And I got a million more. Carl and Brandon were able to get all of our Craig jigs in, the Craig jig packing machine that's over there, and that's how we'll attach our face frame. We'll dado out our face frame, glue and screw it in, get that done. But I'm gonna get this bottom piece in here, and then just keep trucking on other cabinets. I've been working for a little while on the cabinets. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 done. Still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more to go. These two, I need to cut a few parts for. That one needs 3 parts cut. That one needs 1 part cut. So I may, if there's no other parts that are bad, I may just cut parts myself, dado on myself, drill the shelf holes myself. Otherwise, if there's a few other parts, I'll have the CNC do it. Not too worried about that right now. Just going through, making sure I can get as much done as possible today. So I'm doing the corner cabinet, my arch nemesis, quite honestly. They're not that tough, but they're just more annoying than anything. Put these parts together just like a normal cabinet, but I do have my 45-degree angle cut on the front. So there is that. When I first started doing these, because I didn't exactly know what I'm doing, I'm self-taught essentially at all this. No one really taught me how to do this, so I just had to figure it out myself. I used to put this all together and then cut it down And that is a pain in the butt. It's not fun. But I didn't exactly know at the beginning like how wide to cut my angle. So I would say I'm pretty decent at math. Some people would say I'm really good at math. I'm pretty decent at math. But the one thing I cannot stand are angles. I don't know why. My brain doesn't work like that for some reason. So I always had a tough time figuring out the angle. But trial and error, I figured out what I want to cut it to. So I've been able to, for a while now, cut them to what I want. Since I was able to figure that out. So now I can just put this all together and go from there. Get another piece in here, top on top, good. Get the glue in, get the dado in. And the one thing I've been tinkering with, which I think I now have it where I want it, is the face frame on this angled corner cabinet. That's actually the hardest part because you have to get the angle on the 45 correct and line it up with the front dado. But the dado is a 45, so it's just it's a lot. That's why I really don't like these cabinets. But I have that figured out, so I've been messing with the dimensions or the widths of my face frame on how much I cut down to make sure I'm able to get the correct finish width on my 45. And I now think I have that figured out. So what I do is on my top and my bottom pieces, I started with 15 and eventually brought it down. I've been doing 14 for a while. I was doing 14.5 for a while. It gave me 1.125 and it worked, but I didn't love it. And then I got it to 14, which gave me 1.375. Worked, but I'm like, nah. So I'm now going, this is the first job, but I'm now going with, make sure that's looking good. I like to put a lot in here because it's on an angle kind of. I'm now going with 13 3/4 for my top and my bottom pieces on my face frame. And that'll give me 1.5 inch wide front, left and right on my face frame once I've cut my 45-degree angle. Really doesn't make sense right now, I know, but it'll make sense when I start to cut that down, which will probably, hopefully be tomorrow. And that's why last time, I don't know, in one of the videos for the white oak kitchen remodel, I mentioned I screwed it up because I was tinkering with it and I was like, oh, I could go like this, and then I did that, but I didn't have my width correct to do that, and so it screwed it up. So now I've adjusted that, and in theory should work out. And the reason why I want 1.5 inches is because pretty much the rest of our face frames are 1.5 inches, like 95% of them. Unless there's something weird going on, I go for 1.5 inches. It's pretty standard. So that's why I'm going with that. Now I'm gonna get this piece in here. I don't know what it is with this set of cabinets, but I do think the plywood is substantially thicker than normal, which is fine. It's not throwing off our measurements. When I mean substantially, like it could be a 64th thicker. And it's just, I'm having a hard time trying to find my holes. Like you can kind of see a hole right there. That's where it is. Normally they pop out. You can easily tell, but haven't really had that luxury today. So it's slowing me down, which is fine. Just have to make sure you hit the holes. Otherwise you'll go through the bottom or you'll go through the top, and that is something we cannot have. Right there. Boom, another one. See, like this side, it's showing, so I don't know. It's not showing a lot, but it's showing just enough. That makes it pretty darn easy for me. So, I don't know. Some of the pieces are just not wanting to help me out here today. Put a substantial amount of glue in that thing. Get that in here like this. We're doing 1/2-inch cabinets here for this client. It's not MDF, it is plywood, American made. It's still super sturdy. And it helps keep the cost of the job down for the client. So that's why we're doing it on this. That's what we pretty much do. You can definitely do 3/4 wide plywood if the client wants it. If they want it. Like this one I'm having, there we go. Just adds to the cost of the job, which some clients want, some clients don't. Sometimes we get roasted in the comments, oh, those are 1/2-inch cabinets. And that's synonymous with like, oh, those aren't custom, those are crappy because it's 1/2-inch. Well, not really. It's American made, 1/2-inch thick plywood. It's not MDF or particle board or any of that crap. Plywood. It's clear coated or UV'd both sides. Super durable. Everything is hand measured by myself. Everything is cut on the CNC, programmed by us. All custom sizes. I've manipulated some of the face frames on the width, so that's custom. The doors are all custom overlay. They're not just 1/2-inch or not this or not just that. On our cabinets, the consistency comes from the gapping. So all of the gaps are the same. So I use whatever hinge I need to, size-wise, to make sure that all the gaps are the same. That's where the consistency comes. All the drawer boxes are measured to fit perfectly and measured so that way they're the biggest they can possibly be according to the specs on the Bloom Tandem undermount soft load slides. For these cabinets, it's all custom done. They just happen to be 1/2-inch, so that way the cost of the project doesn't go crazy and the client's able to spend more money on their countertop or whatever they want to on their daily lives. It's kind of what I shoot for on cabinets. Like, I'm not trying to like kill the clients on the budget of the cabinets. I mean, because you easily can. It's crazy, quite honestly, how much cabinets can cost. I think everyone should be able to get custom cabinets if they want it. Custom cabinets that are really good quality at a really good price. That's what I go for. That's what we go for. So that's why it doesn't really bug me when people are like, oh, 1/2-inch. I'm like, yeah, but clients don't want to spend $1 million on their cabinets. They want to be able to spend their money on their family. So that's why a lot of them go with the 1/2-inch. There we go. All of our doors are made in-house. 3/4 inch thick, soft close, measured again to fit. All the trim is handmade for the most part, unless like on this job, client's going with a little bit different type of crown molding, one that we don't make. So we're going to have to buy that. But I had to adjust the face frame top width for that to account for that, because these are going to the ceiling. And I could have just shrunk the cabinets, kept the same face frame width, but they wouldn't have touched the ceiling then. The crown would have shrunk the rough opening of the box of the cabinet. So by extending the face frame, it's not really killing your rough opening because you're still able to get inside of there on the top and use that for storage. So a little more custom. Okay, that boy done, looks good, except for this back piece. So I need a 45 cut it. Where are you at? There you are. For whatever reason, the CNC never puts holes back here, so I just go like this. I put 3. It'll usually put the holes on the Lazy Susan one, but it won't on the upper corner cabinet. Don't know why. So I do that. That way then I know exactly where it needs to go. And now I have this set up on a 45. I'm going to cut this. Whoa. I think I need to go a little bit more, is what I think. Feels a lot better. Okay, let's see. I don't want it too much because then it's going to sink into the cabinet and then the shelves won't fit as well. So, but I need it to seed in just like that. And then now what I'll do is I'll cut a back 45 on it. So that way the piece comes out flush on the inside and it doesn't disrupt the shelving. Trim that back a little bit. A little bit more. There we go. Cut that on both sides. And I kind of just figured this out by trial and error. So I used to cut it too deep, and I'm like, well, how can I get it down without cutting it too deep? It's pretty much what we want right there, I would argue. Still think it's, I think that piece needs to come out is more the problem. I think I kind of like that. I'm going to trim it a hair more, just a hair, like the smallest amount possible. See if I can't just can I get away with that? Do I need to go a hair more? I'm going to go a hair more on the other side. Okay. There we go. That should do it. Probably could have left it, but all right. Yeah. Now we're flush on both sides here. Do a little glue. Lock it in. Then what I'll do, once I get it screwed in here to the dado, I'm going to brad nail it on the sides to connect it, just so it really stays in place. It's kind of tricky, quite honestly, because if you don't get the perfect angle, it'll shoot out. So, kind of a pain. But I found that's the best way to do it, because if you screw it, it doesn't really like it, quite honestly. Get those little fuzzies off. Maybe. There we go. Perfect. There we go. And another one. There we go. Okay. Now as you can see, it's up a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'll come through and I'll brad nail that, and then that'll sit down perfect. But my intention here, to have this come out perfectly flush right there on the inside, is perfect. It's not sitting in. So that worked out amazing. I'm just going to brad nail that, and then I'll start cooking on the lowers. So I'm missing one part for each of those cabinets, and then I have my Lazy Susans here. So that's 4 more cabinets I have to put together. But I have the other 14 cabinets all put together. Didn't take too long. Here's parts for the Lazy Susan right here that I need to Craig jig. CNC's cutting out the 2 parts I'm missing for the 2 uppers. And then I'm going to start putting these Lazy Susan cabinets together here. I'm working on putting together probably my second least favorite cabinet. First is definitely the upper corner cabinet, because the face frame is a pain in the butt. But the second is, my second least favorite, is this Lazy Susan unit. But it has to get done, so we're doing it. There we go. They're just so big, these Super Susans. Don't make Lazy Susans, we make Super Susans. And they're super big and a super pain in the butt. But it's worth it. At least to me, I think. You get more space, you get a bigger Lazy Susan unit. And quite honestly, we don't have to put braces onto the wall to hold up the weight of the counter, because our Super Susan goes all the way to the back of the wall, so it holds the counter just fine. There's no gaps or voids back there like most Lazy Susan units. Why is this such a pain in the butt today? There we go. Trying to find where the screw hole goes. Ultra pain in the butt today. Flip it on down, screw this in, and then we'll screw that in. And these Super Susans are so fun to make. The Lord has gifted me 2 on this kitchen and a corner cabinet, so that's really exciting. But that's okay. Quite honestly, the blind corners are easier to put together, but there's a lot that goes into those. So I guess I will put together a Lazy Susan instead, maybe. Oh my goodness. I will say this though. It's so much easier with 2 people. But Jakey and Brandon aren't here today because it is a Saturday. So much easier with 2 people, man. Oh my goodness. There we go. Let's try to do this and film. That might be a sentence of not fun times. Does that line up perfect? It does. Okay, I like that. Thank you, Jesus, for that. That's for sure. That's screwed in. Alright. Are we looking over here? That has a little lip, that has a little lip. That's what we want. Now let's try to bring this guy down here and screw it in. Let's make sure we're completely over, and we are. The next Lazy Susan is harder because there's a side panel going on one side. So we leave a 1/2 inch scribe, so that way the 1/4 inch panel can eat up a 1/4 inch of it, and everything ends up with a 1/4 inch scribe. So I actually have to think which piece goes where. So that way everything turns out correctly. Which in its own right is a pain in the butt. I'll put that back piece on once CNC is cutting a new back piece for this Lazy Susan, because it didn't really turn out the greatest. So I'll cut that down. Hopefully the same time I cut. I'll cut that one down the same time I cut this one down. Okay, so this piece, let me make sure it should be on the right hand side. Let's make sure it is. Yep, it is right there. So, this piece can go somewhere else for right now. Get out of my way. That's the longer side. So that one should go with that one, if I'm thinking about it correctly. Done this before quite a bit, and I've messed it up a few times. So I just didn't think through it. So even when I think through it, sometimes I mess it up. Let's get it glued. Probably, well, the glue helps a lot, so definitely should glue it. But sometimes I'm like, should I glue it in case I have to take it apart if I mess it up? But I'll know pretty much right away if I mess it up. So the glue will not be fully hardened, and I can just take it apart really quick and flip-flop it. Flip, flop. deep diver a little bit, but it'll be okay. There we go. Okay, now these two pieces, and we'll see if I mess that up or not. Carl's getting the CNC amped up to recut a few of those pieces. The plan here today is just, I have a whole bunch of math to do for another kitchen remodel that I measured for yesterday. And so my plan is to do that tonight. I was going to do that last night, but just got busy with videos and a bunch of other stuff. I also need to give Remy a bath tonight. I was going to do that last night, but it rained. And Rem needs a bath once a week. So she doesn't turn into a stinky dog. Okay. Ouch. Come on. Go in your home. You too good for your home? Okay. Now we're going to figure out really quickly here if I messed that up or not. Move, Milwaukee. So, let's measure this out. Actually, we shouldn't need to measure this out. It can only go one way. Well, technically it can go two ways, so we should measure this out, but be able to tell right away here. I think it goes just like that. But I think that's exactly the way it should go. Right like that. Okay. Just want a slight little dip in right there, and that's what it's giving me. So far, it looks like we thought about this correctly. Never really know until you know. And when you do know, it's either too late or you're gonna be fine. Let's see here. Oh no, I think I did that incorrectly. Dang it. It sucked it in, and it actually showed me that it's too big of a gap. Okay. So, all we should have to do here... Oh, goodness me, Tyler. Go like this. Ugh. There. I know I said that last time too, but I think we're better off. I think. Yep. Didn't suck it in all the way as much. So, seems like we're looking good here. Here's gonna be the real tester. Oh my goodness gracious. Things should not be this heavy. Okay. Yep. That feels correct all the way around. Let's get a screw in there before I lose my mind. Right there. And another one. Now let's feel it. Yep. That's looking correct. Need to put screws in the back of these, but looking correct. That's not doing what I want it to do. I'm about to just yeet something if I can't find in these holes. Okay. Perfect. Now I just got to screw these two pieces in, which are correct. Wait for that piece to be cut. Cut my 45s on both of those pieces right there. and then I need to build out my tops, which is a pain. The CNC doesn't cut them. I have no idea why, but it doesn't. So I'll use that material right there to cut those. I'll put those two uppers together that are way over there, and then everything should be together. And then I'm gonna go home and do some math. I got almost all of the cabinets together. Tomorrow I just need to finish the top braces for the Lazy Susan, and then the two upper cabinets. So that was a good Saturday, and then tomorrow, which is Sunday, I'll finish those cabinets, and then I'll get all of the face frames on. If you enjoyed the video, give us a like, subscribe, check out our website. We'll see you tomorrow. Adios.